Hey, if you had to guess, what do you think technology is going to look like in the next 60 years? All right, because this is what they predicted the future would look like 60 years ago. At the 1964 World's Fair in New York, they unveiled some major tech innovations and made predictions about what technology would look like in the future. Some were spot on, but others were way off. Here's what they got right: the picture phone. At the Bell System Pavilion, engineers debuted the picture phone, which allowed people to see who they were calling. You'd think this early FaceTime would be a smash hit, but it was actually a massive flop at the time. That's because they were way too expensive to set up. And back when people would wear suits with ties and dresses at the grocery store, people weren't ready to be seen on the phone at any hour, in their pajamas or worse. The personal computer. At the time, computers were seen as huge cabinets of blinking lights, which took up an entire floor, and were operated by corporations. But several pavilions had exhibits where people could ask computers for information and get responses in seconds. IBM had a computer where you could insert a card with a date on it, and it would give you back another card with a news story from that same date. And at the NCR Pavilion, a computer would answer scientific questions or give out recipes for a cookbook. Sounds like Google, doesn't it? And if you don't believe me, ask ChatGPT about it. Robotics. Walt Disney's It's a Small World exhibit unveiled robotic animation, in which characters sang, spoke, and made lifelike gestures such as smiles and blinks. This completely blew people's minds at the time. It was the first time that millions of people had the opportunity to see something that could be described as robotic, far surpassing the special effects you could see in the movies. Why would they ever think that a robotic Abe Lincoln would one day enslave humanity? But they didn't get everything right. Here's what they got wrong. On the Futurama 2 ride put on by General Motors, they showcased a vision of the future that was totally off. They presented images of people living in colonies on the moon, as well as in Antarctica. It also included huge underwater dwellings and a machine that used a laser to cut through the rainforest, leaving behind paved roads. And they were really big on jetpacks, with demonstrations of jetpack power and dudes wearing them zooming around the grounds. Sadly, none of these predictions came true, but it shows that 60 years ago, people had a vision of the world's potential that made it seem like anything was possible. So I'll ask you again, what do you think the future is going to look like 60 years from now? Let us know what you would predict at the World's Fair today.